All right, today we're looking at the Casio MDV-106. This is the blue version of the Duro, as it's known as. This one is about $60, and the black one is about $47. This is rated for 200-meter water resistance. Has a screw-down crown, mineral crystal. It has a stainless steel case back, and crown. Yeah, it is a quartz watch. Obviously, you can see the second hand there ticking away. And one thing to note with this particular watch in my hand here is the second hand does seem to line up with all the ticks, which I guess is a rarity for this watch, or for any cheaper quartz watches. So if you pay attention here, you'll see that the second hand lines up with each of the tick marks on the chapter rings there. Anyway, the battery is rated for 3 years, and the module number on this is 2784. According to the Casio website, the lug-to-lug measurement is 48 millimeter. I measured it here with my calipers because it seemed a bit longer than that, and it is. It's 49.5 millimeter lug-to-lug, measuring with the caliper. The case width is 44 millimeter. I did measure that, and it seems about right. And the thickness is 12 millimeter according to the website, and I measured it at 12.2, so we'll call that close enough. Also, it's I think it's a fairly lightweight watch at 92 grams. The case on this is polished. The case sides, also the bevel, and the crown as well is polished. However, the top of the case and the top of the lugs are brushed. I was looking at this watch the other day, and the crown just seemed weird to me, and almost looked like it was like a coated brass or coated plastic or something, because the color was off. But it's just that the top of the lugs are brushed and the crown is polished. It's an unsigned crown, by the way. It is screwed down, so that's nice. It gives you the 200-meter water resistance. First click out here. Doesn't do anything. Pull it out to the next position, and that's your date set. Should be the date set. May not be in the right position. This is a time setting position. Nope, that's the date. The crown, it's not a positive click where it's actually at. So there, that is the time setting. Now I should be in the date setting. I guess I'm not. So anyway, I'll play around with this later to get the date back to the proper date. Man, this thing. Am I there yet? Well, anyway, that's one issue I've had with this watch, which I've demonstrated here. I'll try and play with that later. So it has these resin straps, which actually feel quite similar to the G-Shock, which I'm wearing today. So I'll take that off and try and demonstrate the straps here. They feel essentially the same material. I would guess it's the same material. It feels a little bit different because this one is slightly thicker, but you can see they have the same kind of construction here as well with the ridges. So I don't mind this strap. I don't mind the one on the G-Shock either. If you compare it to the older SKXs, this is a horrible strap. I don't know if it's because of the thickness, but this thing is not flexible or comfortable at all. It does have a 120 click bezel. The bezel, it feels okay. It doesn't have much grip to it though. It's kind of thin, and there's not much texturing on the side here. So I also find that grabbing it from the side here is it's okay, but if your hands were a little bit wet, I think that would slip on you. So I tend to grab it between the lugs here, but the edges here are a little sharp. So actually, I think I forgot to mention how I came into possession of this watch. I was going to buy one of these to review, but I actually ended up winning this from the Random Rob Patreon group. So that was a nice surprise. I really don't have much luck with winning stuff like this. You know, I always put my name in on other YouTube channels, and you know, you always get the emails. You can win this thing for free, whatever. And I never seem to win anything, so that was a nice surprise. Also with the bezel, there's something kind of weird with it. Let me get it back to the 12 o'clock position, and I'll try and demonstrate that. So I don't know if you've been paying attention, but each tick, the second hand lines up. So here I'm in the 12 o'clock position. Now this has kind of like a weird spring action to it. I can push it backwards, but when I let go, it springs forward. Not sure if I'm able to demonstrate that well. You see how it kind of just springs forward? Sorry about that. I'll show you what I'm talking about here on my SKX. Maybe not that one. This is 9 years old and the bezel's not working like it should. So, Seiko Turtle here. I'm trying to push it back and it's not going backwards like this Casio would. It just goes back maybe half a click and then you let go and it springs forward. The Seiko is kind of loose, has a bit of play to it, but you can't push it backwards at all. So anyway, that's it in a nutshell. Let me shine a flashlight on this and you can see the dial has a cool sunburst effect to it. I was gonna say sun ray, but sunburst. Yeah, that's a nice looking dial when you get out in the sunlight. So you get a sense of it there. It's a nice looking watch. It's a bit big for me, I think. Let me get it on wrist here. We'll do a wrist shot, and then I'll do the loom, and we'll close out this video. So you can see that sunburst effect again. I have a 6.5 inch wrist. Oh, that reminds me, one more issue with this. If I get it, yeah, right there is a good. So I have 2 more positions. So if you have, I don't know, maybe a 6 inch wrist or a little bit bigger, this will work for you. Again, I have a 6.5 inch wrist. Let me zoom out here and see if I can get a good angle on this. So the keeper is being held up by these little ridges here. So if I push the keeper all the way out, you can see the tail of this thing just kind of hangs out. I mean, it just looks a little goofy. So if you have a 6.5 inch wrist, I would not recommend this. 6.5 or smaller. I suppose I could wear it a little bit looser, but this thing is just kind of hanging out there. Let me loosen up just a little bit, if I can. So it's not super tight. I think it would stay in position. So that's not quite as bad. But just hang on a little bit. So anyway, since I'm zoomed out here, it's a 43 millimeter case. Let me put on my SKX here just so you can get a comparison. This is a bit big for me, I think. So here's my trusty XKX, which, yeah, I got a bit loose. So I think this looks better on my wrist. It's a good size here. Probably about really the max I should be wearing. So let's put this down next to my SKX and my turtle here. We'll do a Wristshot. Give it the Seiko shuffle, although I can wind the turtle. Sorry, I gotta fix these real quick. This one doesn't quite line up. I gotta take this bezel off and try and clean it again, or maybe lube it up. Bezel action is not what it should be on this. Anyway, let's shine a light on these. And turn off the lights. Well, I can already tell you the hands will be pretty decent on this, but the indices leave much to be desired. Usually with the UV light, these will glow up pretty good. All right, let's get the lights here. So it looks pretty decent on camera, the indices on the Duro, but in real life here, just it's been maybe 10 seconds or so. It's not impressive at all. It leaves much to be desired. Probably not fair having the Seikos next to it, but you know, Seikos have good looms, so it's good to use these for comparison. Yeah, the hands on the Duro aren't that great, but you know, for a $60, $50 watch, it's not a bad deal. You just want something to tell time. All right, thanks for watching. Any questions, put them in the comments. Thanks. Bye.